check after you giving her endless orgasm. You can use social spending bill.
So I like to sit back and I like I said, man, this King Sigma was, like I said, sometimes you get fooled, but at the same time, I actually did call King Sigma out about letting Roger Allen COVID on his panels and talking about game too much and the shit that he said about him sleeping with other people's wives and girlfriends. And then, it felt like he did the same thing that Kuda did when he got around non-game dudes to say that, he's on their side, and then turn around and do the exact same opposite later on when nobody's looking. So a lot of stuff that he said in this panel contradicts the stuff that he did about, Passport Gate, which is kind of disheartening, but at the same time, I kind of seen it. And this is why I told y'all about how they're going to turn on you. And I got videos basically predicting a lot of this stuff. Wise words from the past. That's what I might make a series out of that. My old videos that predicted some of this kind of stuff. So let's go down this right here and see that he did the same thing the anti-passport guy said. But listen to some of the words, and I'm gonna pause it during the exact things that he said, because I'm not going all the way back when he said passports and stuff. But let's hear him say it, because I can say it. I can go by memory, because I don't want to make this thing real long. So let's see what King Sigma said, the guy who was on the side of SYSBM passport bros.
Right. Ever pass, which will allow them to dip into your accounts, because there's all this gig money being made, especially by the women.
Let's fucking go. And any movement, it's not that you have $600 in your account, right? Mm-hmm. It's that $600 was there. So now they're just going to look at it. Even if you take the money out, whatever, that bank account is marked. That's what's going on with this stimulus package and all the rest of this shit they ramming through. Go ahead.
Yeah, and again, so you just mentioned that social spending package, if it passes the Senate next month, most of all the programs in there are geared towards women. Child care, FMLA. When you look at the stats on who takes the most family medical leave, guess who that is? Women.
So he mixes intelligence with letting so-called women winning and telling women winning. He was on men's side. And when he got enough support, he did the same thing Kuda did. He did the same thing all the other ones did. He's a Pookie. Well, not Pookie, because he's too intelligent for that. He's a game dude in disguise. Now, I tell you this, and I said this before. Let situations show you who people are. And also let the situations show you who people are aligned with. And who are they aligned against. Because some people just join the side of certain people because they feel like, okay, I can be a heavy hitter for their team. But I don't need these guys anymore because their support doesn't do anything for me. So,
who takes the most 6 days from work? Women. Who's most second contract? So by having a child by that dude who is like 8 years younger than her, all his earnings through the prime of his career, because NBA, your second contract is usually the biggest one.
Right.
So that usually comes, I think that he'll get knocked up. Because again, guess who? Because of the technology that nerds that don't get pussy keep.
Now, he goes to jab at nerds who say they don't get vagina because they keep implementing. So I'm gonna go and rewind that because I fast forward too much. He made it an emphasis of saying the nerds who don't get vagina, they keep implementing the stuff. Let's show.
Proving for them. A lot of women that are playing that game on a lower level. Everyone talks about these women hitting the wall, right? I was at a family get together a few months ago, and I was running into like old and shit like that. All of them, late 50s, 60s, they got a man. He was like 65, 70 years old, retired from like the Johnson, all these companies. Right?
Whoa. Let's be honest. They're not the guys who don't get women. See, and this is how I said it's dishonesty. They're the Rajanella Covens. Well, let me not give him the nickname until y'all know what I'm calling Rajan Allen Curry. Rajan Allen Curry got married at 58 years old. He had a kid at 58 years old. A lot of you ex-players, ex-pimps, and all these other guys, they start getting tired of doing the same stuff over and over again. You start just like the women. They don't go after the guys they never paid attention to because the guys they never paid attention to was out of their sight. Unless the dudes stay in the city. Now you're gonna conflate that the men have to wait 30, 40, 50 years because they can't get women in their so-called prime or in their money spending. They waiting around and they getting jacked by a bunch of old women, which is not even true because there's a whole bunch of old women out on the market right now. And I can tell you examples of women who ain't winning. But let's hear what he says. Oh shit, damn. God damn it.
So you get both benefits, but here's another thing they get. One of them, she got an annuity right now that pays. Now the dude is dead now, right? She caught him on his deathbed. She's getting an annuity of like $2,500 a month for the rest of her life. They never got to worry about paying rent or eating. So her basic needs are met just by the dude that's already gone. And she caught him when she was like 50. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's another thing, too. I read it, too, out here, is that I ran into a woman who was getting alimony. She moved here from California, and she got a boyfriend that she's never going to get married to because she knows that the alimony stops when she gets married again.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So when you look at it again, we got to go back to this.
She was no.
But look, man. The guys who don't get so-called women are not the ones out here being played. Mostly. It's the guys who bought into this game shit and bought into this that they all are masters of women. Because eventually you're out there by yourself. Because, first of all, what happens to a football team who don't have competition? Do they go and search for people who can compete with them? Or they go around and try to compete with people they think are lesser than them. It's the same thing with football teams, mostly football teams, that will have all this. They will play people that's worse than them, but by the end of the year, they're acting like they're the best football team. Case in point, I remember when I finally stopped watching football because I know how much bullcrap it was. When the Patriots, when my man's Randy Moss, when they had Randy Moss on his side, they beat every single team in the league. But when I look back on them seasons, half of the teams wasn't even 100%. They were all weak during that season when the Patriots was winning. Because look what happened. The Patriots lost in the Super Bowl. They went 15, 16 and 0 to lose at the Super Bowl? That's when I looked and said, something wrong with this, something rigged. My man's Randy Moss didn't get his ring. Michael Strahan retired after that. And I was like, I ain't watching football no more. Cause I start to see that they set up teams not based off how good they are, but they set up team how bad the other team is. Cause it wouldn't be a good football game if you had great teams going against each other and everybody's favorite team losing all the time. And I kind of see how rigged it was. That's just how it is out here. King Sigma, Ramil Lamir, y'all know that the fact is the women are actually controlling the market now. They're controlling the market so certain guys don't win. No matter what these dudes do, no matter what anybody do, they gonna let you win and let the guys lose. It's a rigged system. It's rigged. So you're going around talking shit saying that they're winning, and people are actually trying to counter you, telling you in another way, but you're not trying to understand their point of view. We all see a whole bunch of homeless women out here. If they were winning, then if they were winning 100%, then they wouldn't be on here complaining about their positions. They will be fulfilling that positions that they're complaining about. And they would be happy being on Overstuffed Mountain. Now, people might ask me what Overstuffed Mountain is. I'm good at nicknaming stuff. Overstuffed Mountain is a concept that I made up a few decades ago. Well, a decade ago. Where it's women out here who... There's women out here who are pretty much grumblings, right? There are women who they get too much attention and penis and all this other stuff that they can get, and they all stay at that top of the mountain, and they're trying to fulfill their stomach, and they go after people, and it's up to the dudes, including myself, to not even go that way, because you know what it is. But for some reason, you think that they're all winning, because if they was winning, they would be making $1 million a day. Every woman out here would be making $1 million a day if everybody was winning. All women was winning. Now, a reason why I'm talking about this is because somebody told me that they asked me that, hey man, why don't you make a video about this whole thing? And I said, man, I might make this video, and that, I don't know, this it. Because this will hold up for like years to come. But I made other videos showing what they might do and what they might say. And I also got little tidbits of things that Ty City, the people who he had in this chat, like a Ramil Lamir, Taz, Georgia Boy, Gabe A, Super Sly. He had a lot of people who were against the Manosphere. But you're supposed to be so-called better than the Manosphere. But you got people who got sins on them. But I'm going to get to that soon, right? Let's hear it.
No Instagram models. He was not the top such and such percent and all the rest of this shit.
Yeah, so those are the elite women. Those are the women that can pull off what Superhead and Brittany Renner pulled off, where they can get the guys that are in the top one income. That dude that you just read about, Everett Taylor, he is a rare breed, a black man in Silicon Valley.
Right.
Starting a software company and cashing out for millions. This man was so distressed. No matter how much money he made, I just knocked up this quote-unquote post-wall manipulative whore. He's done.
What you're not going to talk about is the fact this is a star route system. This is why I respect MOT more and more when he talks about it. They starve dudes out. This is why the self-improvement bullshit is kind of a hoax, because it distracts you and improve you, and then when you all improve, you come out, all of people that you have experiences with are used up women, and they fool you into believing that you're getting something new because you're getting it now, and it's your turn. That dude who got messed up by Corinne Steffens, he didn't have enough wherewithal to actually go in his head and say, I want to get these experiences. I can go overseas. I have the money for it now. Meaning that I can get access to any kind of sexual thing that I want without having to deal with women like Superhead. But guess what? People don't promote going overseas to get your sexual appetite. Oh, forgot. Stupid ass Ramil Lamir will tell you to stay over here and deal with these women. And then when a guy like him get caught up with a Brittany Renner, without getting pregnant, and he get Me Too charges or something, or somebody don't like the way he do stuff, or they want a job from him, they'll sleep with him, and then they'll blackmail him to get them inside the door. Oh, but King Sigma and Todd City would not talk about that. They would throw their vagina at a guy who just first started, blackmail him to say that she will throw a case on him, even if you got all the text messages, and even if you got the cameras and the consent form, it still drag you into court. And guess what? The judge can still throw that stuff away, because that's what they can do. But hey, somehow, some way, you're supposed to still deal with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, he know he don't got no chance with this bitch. She done ran the game. She perfected the shit, man. This bitch she got checks and shit.
She didn't run the game. She played a guy who didn't have a lot of sexual experience with a lot of women. And also, he listened to guys like you telling younger men to go with older women because older women somehow know what they're doing. Older women are somehow easier to get. I heard that logic a lot of times too. You push these young men into these older women, and then they get caught in the trap. And you didn't tell them that you got caught in a trap with these older women, but it wasn't as severe as this younger dude. And now she got this dude for 18 years, or she got this dude on some kind of crazy stuff, and she blackmailing him, and now she's riding his coattail of this young generation dude, because you guys were sponsoring her, telling her that she was a good woman. I have a video about that too. Stop listening to other men. Stop listening to other men. Stop letting other men endorse the women they want to endorse to you.
Coming from other entertainers and rappers she done had kids with and shit. I think this bitch in her ain't she like 40 something on her way?
She in her 40s, man.
Getting pregnant still.
Still getting knocked up. Cause again, guess who? Because of the technology that nerds that don't get pussy.
Oh, because the technology, because the nerds who don't get pussy are making. It wasn't about getting women, and it wasn't about that. See, this is the dishonest shit that I'm talking about right here, right? The technology was made to improve people's life, and it does. You can download things fast. You have hard drive space. You have all this stuff. You have streaming services, which is going down because everybody's creating streaming services, and now it's mimic cable. So now nerds are creating the internet, so women can keep winning and they can keep losing. This is what he said.
Keep improving for them. So you got 50.
And look, and look, Todd City's laughing like, what's so funny about that? Pointing out the fact that a lot of nerds that creating stuff, technology, and they're not getting the dividends. Yeah, they're getting the money and stuff, but the society ain't creating enough men, not creating enough women that appreciate these men. But it's somehow funny. This is why I said you have to watch who you hang out with and who you associate with. Because guess what? King Symbols was the same dude who was saying stuff like, he has freedom and stuff, and what he said, different types of game or whatever he was talking about, but then he always leaned towards something else. So that's one to show you that this so-called hoes is winning. It's just another way of bragging the fact that you're on the winning side and other men are on the losing side. And this is also a fight against, it ain't a fight against me. It ain't a fight against SYSBM. It's a fight against people they think that they can go tangle with. They'd never bring this kind of shit to MOT. They'd never bring this type of shit to everybody in SYSBM who's married, who has a working system. They will bring this to Obsidian, and then they will broad brand the whole manosphere on the people that O'Shea brung in. This is O'Shea's fault for bringing all these different people in the manosphere and then leaving, shutting down a ratchet show called The Rumble. And now you got all this bullcrap going on, and it keeps happening. But hey, let's continue.
You got 50-year-old women now having children, bro. It was an old actress chick that just had twins. She's like 53.
There's a lot of women out here having kids because of guys like you. They don't even... And this is why I said he's dishonest about it, because I can show you. I'm not going to show you on here. I hope I don't get... I hope this video stays up, man. God damn. I hope this video stays up. Let's, Daphne's last video. So, this happened in September. Now let's see.
It was me. It was me. It was me just trying to do good. And not be sick. And to be a good person. So, the main thing is just being so alone.
Now, the main thing is being so alone. Now, Ty City and King Sigma will say that no woman is taking themselves out because they have thousands of men who can give them what they want. But a lot of them are not getting it because they want it their way. And they're believing guys like King Sigma and all these guys saying winning, but when they go out in the real world, nobody's biting. Nobody want to be around them. Because now men have a kind of respect for themselves that Ty City's trying to take away from men. Now, you want to make sure that they winning. Because for some reason, he had a problem with men saying that they want to just go, they want to stop, they just want to get sex styles. Wait a minute. And I tried to tell him in his chat, and I said, hey man, there's some men who got small penises who don't want to be dealing with the bullshit, and they're not women, they're not carpet munchers. They're not trying to overplease a woman so they can get a small bit of pleasure. Because they're small down there. So they would rather take their nut and their attention and pleasure themselves at the maximum value without a female. And they don't want to even pay for it because it's going to be demoralizing to them. And he had a problem with that. But 2 years later, he's now hoes are winning. Hoes are winning. Hoes are winning. Because Ramil made him trigger that shit. And it's like, oh yeah, man, let's all go on the same side. King Sigma going on the same side who talked shit about SYSBM and Passport guys. I mean, if you change that thing and say, oh, you're implementing the internet that of nerds who don't get pussy, and you're making it better. But that's why SYSBM was made, so they can find someone. But you the same guy who were defending guys who want to go overseas. To his credit, he said he didn't have a problem with it. But the fact is, now you're going to hear him say, these guys paying for it. And it's the end of this video. And he pretty much changed his mind in one of the videos. When he was out there telling you about going against SYSBM and stuff like that, and even paying for it, saying he don't have no problem with it. But he hang out with a guy like Roger and out of COVID. Let's.
And I don't have to figure out what it was to have succeeded to the level that I succeeded. My employers, I want, you know, and I just can't. Oh. Maybe I should put this up for this. Why? I'm never gonna get better. I'm never.
Now, you're they conflating all these so-called older women, getting these guys and trapping them. Those are lucky stars. That's what we was trying to create. Now, I got a lot of shit. I got a lot of shit from former people who was in my comment section telling me that why am I keep talking about P-stars? Why am I keep talking about penis size? Why I keep talking about this stuff? Why am I talking about this and this and this? That's the reason why. I didn't want men to be caught in the web even later in life. I wanted them to remember what I said about the sex and all the stuff and how they treated you and everything else. All the videos that I had was geared to the fact is you wasn't going to give these women your best self at all. And you wasn't going to sit here and allow guys like King Sigma, guys like a King Sigma, Super Sly to put their used up women and put them to you and then say, I got guys who actually losing. Y'all guys are losing. These women are winning. You gotta go with you gotta do this and do that. These hoes are winning. And make fun of your demise. And then act like you want to walk around with a tutorial or a manual lift just to deal with these women. While you're doing that, they're going out here pretending like they're better than you. While you're distracted. It was all about that. Throwing jabs at nerves like that because they're creating a new social media site and they don't get no women. You'll be surprised they do get women. The dudes in Twitch are getting more women than a King Sigma. This is the reason why Twitch is ran the way it ran. But you're not going to talk about that. They banned certain words because the women were trying to play games with them. They said, okay, we're going to make it hard for a lot of y'all. Because we tired of you using the simp word because that's our customer base. Hey, but somehow, some way, the guys at the top ain't getting vagina. Why you think that Twitter and Facebook is run the way they ran? Because women are throwing vagina at them. Just like how you're going to say that directors and porn star directors and people behind the camera ain't getting head and shit like that and getting sex. They're flush with vagina. There's a guy who made black.com. Black movies. Black entertainment. Black adult entertainment. He got so many women out there, he got tired of it because he already went through like half of the roster that he had. But we're not going to talk about that.
Make you stronger.
see she getting the gun out and trying to shoot herself in the chest on Facebook Live. But hey, man, women are winning, man. Women are winning. And the nerds who create the social medias, they're not getting no pussy. They're not getting into nothing. They want Zero to come in on their gang, and I think that Zero is smart enough because and the one thing that I don't like Zero when he says stupid shit and he be like, yeah, man, because he showed himself to be one of them too. He's an undercover game dude too. But he try to control it. Because it gets out of him like, oh, damn, I'm doing the same shit they're doing. He called these guys out. And I know he's watching from the clouds. He don't want no part of this because now I heard him on Aegon's stream. And even on his own streams. He don't want to be part of this. Because they're doing the same thing the game dudes are doing. We already know that the other side is delusional about women coming to the table and all that. But guess what? They gonna do what they do. They outnumber you so-called guys good with women. And the thing that you don't understand. You don't understand. And this is what kills me about King Sigma saying that if communists came, the guys who don't get women will be killed first. No, you dumb guy. It's the guys who do get women will be killed first, not the guys who don't. The guys who don't are told or are given a choice. You can live under our rule and get these women that didn't like you before. Because guess what? In 1944, in the 1940s, that's what happened to the Germans. The Germans who didn't like what they saw, they were given free carte blanche to women from other countries if they joined the party. Every single organization always recruit people who have a disdain for their stuff. Even Zero said it that, guess what? You join the army, you got an automatic female on your side. You join any type of thing, they say, okay, you want to fight against us or you want to be under our system. So he being dishonest again, letting his game side come out. Zero doing the right thing of disappearing. Because when Aegon put up a stream, I don't know if Aegon will ever put up a stream again, because now Aegon looks like an accomplice to Jessica X. Because mainly Jessica X is on Aegon's stream. I like Aegon. We in the same cities, Philly. Difference is that he got hit with the divorce and he still somehow didn't learn from that. Because, him and Marco had a going back and forth when he was like, why you going out there getting all these numbers and blah, blah, blah. I forgot what it was about. Because, he takes his streams down because dumbass Jerome Whiteside comes in, the black female panderer, and he's scared of Jerome trying to do certain things. And I'm like, if you maneuver right, you can get rid of him, block him, and then have somebody who good with technology put a firewall or something up there, a basic system, not firewall on there because you can't do that on here. I'm talking about a basic system of people who will watch out for Jerome Whiteside, watch Jerome Whiteside, and you pay them like $20. And if you start making videos, go to YouTube, take them down. Because Jerome, he will submit to authority. Because that's what the women do. They go after his page and start doing what they do, he'll take it down. You get to keep it up. But I think that Aegon didn't want to be painted into a corner. And I don't know. Because every time I'm on Aegon stream, it's Jessica X. She took over his last 3 live streams. His last 3 live streams, she took over. She was there. Lawrence got bounced. Judge don't want to. He came on there and then they went back and forth. Zero and Marco left. And it was like, I thought this place was cool. Seasick don't really come no more, and every time he does come on, he's calling them out. then you had the other guys on the panel who telling you, oh yeah, man, some guys don't know, and then they doing the shaming shit. The one thing that I can respect about Zero is that he goes down the line on both sides. He gives a spanking to both sides for what they don't do. And then he be like, that's how I see it. Because he has sins on himself. Because he been around women cheating on their husbands. And he can actually said something to the guys in an anonymous way because he has the tech skills, but he won't do it. And he thought it was funny. But let's continue. Now, she going under the covers trying to shoot herself in the chest. And the gun jammed.
Just please stop. Just please stop. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you. Remember. Remember, my brain goes to Boston. Straight to Boston. Former professional wrestler,
So, now let's go back to that video. I just showed you a chick that later did end her own life. But they're winning at older ages. You're conflating women who go back to the gym and women who dial themselves out and they take advantage of weak men who've been starved out to everybody else. Come on, dog. I can show you screenshots and messages of women trying to tell me to meet them somewhere. I got a video about the 3-year test that I did with a single mom, and I just.
When she's like 53.
Yep.
Using the technology of the nerdy guys that they never fuck. So the whole technological advance over the last 10 years, I haven't seen a situation where these women haven't benefited from it. So we got to go back to this average woman who can get the $43K after-tax money. Now,
Right.
when you guys say these hoes is winning, now I consider that a subjective thing, but we can use comparisons. We got to go back to the average black man in America, right?
Right.
I just came back from a trip a few months ago to Skid Row on the West Coast, right? I wanted to see with my own eyes what was popping now that the COVID.
And he's gonna destroy his own point that he tried to do before. He was dishonest about that last time because, by his own words, he even said it that a lot of these men that somehow think they're winning with women, they're homeless. But then he tried to use this argument against men who say that he tried to win the argument on the women are winning by saying that men ain't making a lot of money and they're losing because he saw a lot of people on the West Coast homeless. But half of those dudes that so-called homeless, they put their faith in the fact that they can dick women down and be homosexuals for the rest of their life and not do anything. And have sex with women the whole time and go through that thing, but let's hear him talk.
All I saw was men out there. Tent cities everywhere. Tent cities. You come out the restaurant. You come out the club. I come out my 5-star hotel. It's homeless tents right there on the street in downtown. Not in the woods somewhere. Not an hour from the city center.
But we all know that. Like, wait, did you ever go to California? There was homeless people there before that. Everybody goes to California thinking that they some big shot dude, just the women and the men. And a lot of them end up homeless. It ain't just the men, it's the women too. But somehow, some way, you don't want to see women's flaws or see women losing or whatever, right? But somehow, some way, you think that all black men are losing because you saw it in California? This is the dishonest stuff that MOT was actually talking about. Where this shit they try to attach it to they try to attach your money and your usefulness to women to your ego and your self-esteem. And wow,
right there in downtown with $1 million companies like Microsoft right there, okay? Those are men. Now, when we look at the black male's average earnings, gross, $42,000 net, which matters because that's what you actually get to take.
and you're being dishonest too. Let's talk about that. $42,000 is a lot to make when you're a single man. You don't have kids. You're not out here wasting money on women. Even if it's $20 a piece, you're not wasting the money on women. You can survive off that. Now, watch him conflate his lifestyle to other black men's lifestyle and try to use that comparison that $42,000 is not a lot. Oh, you're not gonna make money and this. Watch. Okay, let's
Take home
Right.
$31,500. So who's taking the L here, bro? It's the woman at a minimum.
Who's taking the L? The men who think that they can go out here and talk their way. The guys that you want to go out there and talk to women for 55, 60,000 hours because it's the feel of the hunt. That's what you and Roger Allen Colvin said before. Roger Allen Colvin already said he was a broke dude back in the day. And he used women and all this other stuff. This is the reason why I laughed at dude and he said all this other crap. I'm like, dude, I can show you my ex-girlfriend. And you probably can even text her. And you can probably even text her to this day and ask her, did me and her ever go out? And she will tell you, yeah. And she was insulting me. But hey, for some reason, Roger Allen Colvin thinks that I'm an incel or whatever. So yeah, sure.
Gets $43,000 after tax without doing anything but being born with a vagina. But the men who are working 40 to 50 hours, the average wage for a black man, he's taking home $31,500 after he pays rent, which in my city, our average rent for a one bedroom is $1,500.
And this is why I said the me personally dudes. You can't just sit here and say, well, I paid $15,000. No. It's different. It's different rent for different prices. So dishonest number one.
That's about $18,000 a year. So this dude, food for a man, I weigh about 107.
Food for a man. Now he's trying to generalize food for a man. Look, man. There's not food for a man. There's no definition for it. You go by the city, not by the man. The city. Because guess what? $200 or even $150 in grocery can last me 2 weeks. Depending on what's it called? And it's the supermarket that I go to. That's in Philly. It might be different in New York. It might be different in Miami. It might be different somewhere else. You can't generalize somebody and say, whoa, for a man, I'm 180 something pounds. When I was 210, 215, groceries still cost at least 130 every 2 weeks. And that wasn't including my protein shakes and other stuff that I had to get.
Pounds, I eat about $500 to $600 a month.
He eats $500, $600 a month in food, meaning that you have expensive taste. Not every man is like that, dude. But, Jesus, man. I'm tired of pausing this video. I'm going to cut this video up and choose a title for it. But it's just, I never thought that I would see this dishonest bullshit from King Sigma when I seen him on Obsidian, when he made good points. But this is what they do when they hoodwink you. They go along with the people they think that they should go along with, and then eventually the people they get comfortable with. And I said this before in the video. Anybody who said that, anybody who know my video, anybody who know me in what I said in the video, I said this. Oh shit! I said this before. I got wise words, man. Damn it. I said this in the video before where I said they get close to you and they don't act like the way they should act. They act like way they think that the people around them act. And then when they get around a certain group of people, then they start showing you who they really are. I said this before, wait.
Do it alone. So what we looking at there? 6,000. This dude is already, he's hurt. Just to shelter himself, feed himself. He got to get to work, don't he?
Yeah.
Well, his car hitting him at $5 a gallon. He paying $50 a.
Some people can take the bus. In New York City, you could take the bus and train to work. In Philadelphia, you could take the bus and train to work. You don't need a car. So, oh my gosh. Whew. Man, oh man.
Just on gas, insurance in my state, I think it's about an average of $75.
You don't go based off what you are. You go based off whatever people are. This is the... I guess. Oh, man. This is... let me calm down. But at least it's kind of fun to be kind of angry at certain things. Because, you know, I wasn't in this stuff for like 6 months. So, you know, let me get in control. But he really being so dishonest right now, man.
This dude is taking the L. How is that woman taking the L? In my state, they even give a woman with a child.
Well, you're making more men take L's because you're telling them to go pursue women they're not going to get sex from. You and Roger Nalakovic was like, they're telling guys that, oh, they want the instant gratification, but I will talk to a woman for hours and hours and hours on the phone, and then when she hit me up 3 months later, and she thought about me, that's if hitting that feels so good. Like dudes have that time to wait around for a chick to hit them up later. Oh, the DM game. Like people have time for that. You just said how hard it is for guys to survive, but now you sitting there wanting dudes to play games with women? Come on, man. Come on, man. This is something.
They give her a free car. Free
God
computer.
damn.
Yeah, they giving out at some of these companies out here. They do like these donations where a woman, if she like signs up for like a school program, she gets free junior college, she gets a free brand new laptop and a free car.
Damn, man.
Refurbished cars. You know how they.
Yeah, but that's not every single city, man. You have to. Jesus, man. It's very dishonest to think that you found one article and they doing that to every single woman all across the globe. If that was the case, then a lot of these women wouldn't be on GoFundMe. I made that point in one of my other videos about the GoFundMe path. Like, are you sick?
Yeah, those Goodwill cars.
And you know what? LeBron James built that school, and he made sure that all the children's parents had transportation. He bought cars for the kids to go to school and shit too.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You mentioned that. What about old boy Tyler Perry? What did he do for them single mothers down there in Atlanta?
Go ahead, lay it on me.
He built a whole housing project next to his theater and production company.
Oh, you know who else?
Housing project.
Wait. You know who else did that?
Who's that?
The preacher that run the Potter's house here in Dallas.
TD
TD Jakes got a big ass fucking apartment complex where you know hoes can go live for fucking free, dog.
Okay, now we got those guys on the ledger. Let's add someone else to the ledger. Let's add corporate America's ledger. They just put out $10 billion in 10 years for who? Not black men. Black women specifically.
MOT actually destroyed that point on about the little bill that they made with the bank that helped black women. I mean, MOT destroyed that point, but he didn't listen to that. He already destroyed that point, and they're not really getting a lot from that. It's kind of like a tax write-off for them. But man, I knew it was coming. But Yeah, man.
Specifically, 10 billion in 10 years grants. So that means they're going to get free job training. Okay, we look at the Biden right now. Biden has the lowest approval ratings of any president right now.
Right.
Now, so he's going to have to throw some kind of haymaker to get those numbers up to have any hope of the Democrats sustaining their lead in the House and the Senate. Well, right now we know it's probably going to be a red wave, that the GOP. But there has to be some kind of Hail Mary thrown to try to get people out to vote. Their base is women, specifically black women. So what could he do? Here you go, Joe Biden. Most of the student loan debt in America is women. 1.5 trillion as of today, right?
Yeah, and I see somebody try to pin that on them as a loss. Like, hey,
But if they were winning, then basically they wouldn't have student debts. They would have found another way. Let's be real, man. A lot of these women go through the grinder, and this is from somebody who actually has had a friend that was in the porn game, and he told me how these chicks are living. You being very dishonest right now that they really absorb themselves and people don't take them seriously. Nobody's coming out their pockets for these chicks, because mentally these women are used to thinking that they will always be saved. And the video that I showed you that ain't true. And you're trying to conflate that the men are losing and they need to concede and be just like you guys. The worst thing in the world is that we need arrogant assholes who out here who think that they're somehow winning with women, and everybody else need to be arrogant assholes. No, man, I want to integrate myself into other cultures. I don't want to be stuck being a black N-word and on here talking about game and all this other stuff, because once you play that game, you start thinking that every single girl is dishonest. And when she comes with a good culture, you think that you run away from it. I know men who threw away good things, who threw away good women because they were stuck in this whole women are winning and, oh yeah, I can be a player forever. And they threw away good women because they couldn't meet up to the standards of the fathers or the family. Let's listen to some more.
they up to their neck in student loan debt. Oh my God.
How can you be up to their neck in student loan debt when you have people advocating every day to wipe out all your student loan debt right now?
Oh, it's gonna happen.
And it's probably going to happen because, again, Joe Biden has the lowest rating.
See, and this is why I said it's dishonest that, you know, he want women to have, it to me, it seemed like these two, the way they talk, they want women to win so men can lose more. It's like, oh, if they're gonna wipe away student debts, but I think you predicted a couple things wrong, King Sigma, and said that, you know, Kamala Harris is gonna do this and Kamala Harris is gonna do that. Even I was wrong about that. She was a president, a vice president that was just there for the votes. She didn't have no power or nothing, man. They trying to replace her. But somehow, some way, you thought all this stuff was gonna change, and it sounded to me that you want more women to win and more men to lose, so you can be king of the hill. I told you about these guys before, that they always. I got a video on this about never trust people who don't got no rivals, and I have a video, and it comes to this point, but I'm gonna knock all this stuff down with this video.
Kamala Harris has the lowest approval ratings of any vice president in history.
They don't care and they know. That's just what we got to deal with. And that's what's on the other side of this shit is that, you know, it's like we've been playing dumb, trying to act like these bitches don't know.
So, then what's your problem, Todd City, with men who want to go with sex styles? What is your problem with that? If they know they winning and they don't have no shot with these women and they don't want to do all the dumb shit that y'all doing and y'all be arrogant and shit, because a lot of guys, the reason why they don't do what y'all do, because they don't want to turn into a Roger and Allen Curry or a King Sigma and be this arrogant motherfucking dude who, yeah, man, I talk to women, I'm the game, I got the game, I'm doing this, you guys don't know what you're doing, and it's like, There's a reason why they don't want black men around. Because other races of men will slap the dog shit out of you. They won't let you sit here and talk this shit to them like that. Even Asian dudes will come take a knife to your throat. Mexican dudes will do, man, they will get you out of here. There's a lot of different people who won't tolerate this kind of talking down to like this. That's why other races and dudes don't do kind of shit like this. There's no cake pop stars walking around talking all, yeah, man, women are winning. I'm good with women. There's no Asian dudes that are winning with women talking down to the guys who don't get women. There's no Latino dudes out here doing this kind of stuff. Only with black guys and white guys. There's a lot of Indian dudes that are getting women. They're not out here talking bad about the guys who don't get women. They make a system so the guys who don't get women get women. Everybody made a system for them to get women, except black men and white men even made a system for their incels to go overseas and stuff like that. Only black guys are doing this kind of shit like this on here. Yeah, man, you know, this and this and that. I want women to, and it sounded to me it's like you want to stay at the top of the hill of being the chosen one from women, and you don't want no competition. So yeah, you did go around and be like, yo, passport gate, and say some good points, and then you turn around and let Roger and Ellen COVID on your panels and talking down to men and talking to his books and all that, and then turn around and be like, Keith, I don't want my stuff to get taken down. You got game, right? Why don't you go get a woman? Yeah, all of y'all seem to have this game, but y'all can't get this game to keep y'all Facebook or keep y'all internet on. How's it that I got more game that I pretty much was like, okay, let me focus, blah, 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 and do this and do that? You got all you guys, so I'll break it down, but not.
You know what I'm saying? We just out here playing dumb, arguing, trying to shame, blame, and explain.
And he made this shame, blame, and explain. Why don't y'all stop trying to shame, blame men? Oh, you the reason why you don't get women. Oh, man, you got to do this and do that. Oh, man, men already told you before that it's better for them to walk away. But you saying, oh, I don't rock with that sex doll. Everybody was talking about the sex doll stuff. If a dude know his sexual limitation, why the fuck should he struggle? Why the fuck should he even give his money to a woman to get pleasure from her? And based off what I just said, why should a man give money? I'm right, because King Sigma's made a point about, oh yeah, the John be making women come, and the other guys don't have to do a damn thing. They just did the money. I'll get to that.
These hoes, they do not care. They know exactly what's going on, and every time they interact, it's a fucking gaslighting situation. Every time.
Total gaslighting. So when we go back to that number that I came up with, just federal taxes. Now remember, this number that I came up with by looking at black men's average earnings and how much they pay to the federal government, I came to a number of $106 billion in federal taxes alone. Not including your state taxes, not including your sales tax and other fees that you're charged as a black man in America. So that means that the working black man with that average salary of about $42K, he pays out just about $9,000 to the federal government in taxes. Now, think about that shit. So you're paying out about $9,000 a year as just a regular working black man. Because remember, we had that number. That regular black man brings home about $31,000, right?
Right.
So now he's paying $9,000 just to the federal government. Now every state has their own system. My state taxes us, I think, about 8%, bro, on top of the 25% class I'm in as far as a worker. So I'm paying something like 32% in taxes. So working black men are paying about $106 billion in taxes, so that those women can get a tax credit every year of $3,600. How is that not a win?
Bro, listen, this not. It's stacks and stacks and stacks. And that's why I make the point. I said politically. I said I'm gonna have this discussion with anger, man.
That's gonna eliminate just about 70% of ADOS women for me, because I want the woman that's raised by. And being the rationality comes after all that. Man, my mom, her sisters, and their friends, they were the most manipulative women, bro.
And the funny thing about this is that, guys like a King Sigma who said he was raised around manipulating women, he's not going to have videos of showing the women in his family saying stuff and give it to a person. See, you can easily expose these women because guess what? A lot of these females, the hoes are winning. They go into male spaces, record men saying some disparaging things, and then say, oh, all men are like this. But there's guys like a King Sigma who won't record a woman cheating on her man with him and make it anonymous so you can expose more women and be on men's side. It's funny to me that these guys have said hoes are winning, but you don't want to take the mantle out of their pockets. You don't want to take the power from them by doing the dirty tactics they use. Because, oh, that's only for women. Men should just do this and do this. Wow. But in war, we understand that you have to do the same tactics that they do in order to win. Oh man. Woo!
As a kid,
Don't
and we
even
watch
get me
female
started.
cousins.
Don't even get me started,
Man,
man.
bro, I would watch female cousins run game on.
So, pretty much, they learned how women are, and they wanted to be on the opposite side of what women do. So now they're making fun of guys who don't want to be in that position, or they making fun of guys because they don't want to partake into the dishonesty and shit they do. This is why I said that SYSVM and Passport Bros is very good, because you get to keep your morals. You might play a little different, you might do a little do things based off that, but you don't really go out your way and be this dishonest, where it becomes where you're trying to win so much that you're trying to put down other people. And it's like, I know women because I grew up around the most dishonest women, and I know their games, but I participated in some of the dishonest things that women did. I was part of their dishonest catalog. And I want you to be a part of that too. No.
These old tricks when I'm talking like a 5, 6.
And now he used the word tricks. But this is the same guy who said he didn't have a problem with guys spending money on women. King Sigma from 2020, King Sigma 2021. Let's go.
6, 7 years old. They would get on the phone. They got all their girlfriends in the room. They ready to go out and kick it, but they short on change. Let me call it this trick. I can't pay my rent. They go.
But we already knew this. We already knew this. This is the reason why guys advocated sex dolls. This is the reason why guys said that they didn't want to give women their money. This is the reason why guys went overseas. Because they wanted to be the first choice and they wanted to get the first action. They didn't want to be nobody's choices to, oh yeah, I'm going to use this guy to talk. I'm going to use this guy to fix my car. We already know this already. This is decade-old bullshit, but it's kind of like, oh, we jabbing at these guys because they're losers.
Kick me and my kids out. Trick, hit those pockets, boom. She out at the club with paying for all her girlfriend's drinks and then going to fuck with new dudes. These women won this game in the 80s. They been winning this game.
Yo, listen. I remember the young cat I worked with. He said,
Laughing at dudes that they got in their phone when they send them money. Competing. So
See, and this is the thing that you do, but you're actually doing the same shit, because you bragged about sleeping with a woman who getting married, and everybody, oh, we all slept with women who was just getting married, but you're just you took the role of the female friend. You just had a penis, and now you're going around talking shit about men because they are the opposite side of losing, and they don't want to do the kind of crazy bullshit you're doing because they want to keep their morals. Because trust me when I say this, man. Trust me when I say this. If you are a purveyor of history, you know how brutal and how dirty men can actually play. But guys like you would say, oh, that's messed up. They don't do that. Then why are you sitting here wanting men to do all this dumb shit? Because then, guess what? There will be men who will take this overboard. This is why I never felt sorry for the chick who got popped in her eye on Facebook Live, and her mom on the couch breathing for her last breath. Didn't feel sorry for her because she picked the guy. I ain't feel sorry for them 2 girls that was on that Facebook Live on the Instagram with that dude showing them 2 dead white girls. And he was like, oh, they try to kill me. I didn't feel sorry for him. But for some reason, I'm bad because I didn't feel sorry for him. Huh? I want to finish this off because it's going too long and I didn't want to go too long, but it's gonna pop down to the other situation that I want, the other stuff.
What hoe number one would be like, girl, I just talked to Tyrone, he just sent me 30. All of them got hijabs on.
Yeah. And they tried to the feminine.
And guess what, man? You're dishonest. They tried to do this in Honduras, and it didn't work. The Honduras man was like, "Yo, you better get out of our country before we slaughter you." Feminism tried to go to every single country and try to do it, and the men in that country who rule it said, "You better come with an army and change this, cause you don't have the army. You better get out of our country." And all these women just ran off like, oh my God, we need the army. And the army was like, the United States was like, nah, we're not trying to fight everybody because, yeah, that's somebody else's territory. So you're being dishonest with the whole Taliban taking over and making everybody wear the hijab.
Here we're trying to guilt Joe Biden into going over there to like save the women only or some shit like that. And
Is that not a win though?
I mean, this is for people who aren't supposedly not protected. There's some people out here saying that these women they not protected and all the rest of this shit, but I can't see it.
Well, that's a win though, cause think about what you just
No,
said.
absolutely it's a win because again, I said this, the whole world will come together to save women.
That's my point. That's a win. When a woman can sit on her ass eating Cheetos.
Yeah, but they didn't win. Listen, what are you talking about? Y'all dishonest as hell. Guess what, dude? Nobody's going back over there to do that. They didn't beat those men in 20 years. Those guys are still, they slaughtered a whole bunch of those guys over there. And guess what? They was there. And guess what? They captured people and said, hey, you paying attention to our rules. The whole world is not going to save these women. Guess what? Because guess what? You didn't talk about what happened in the UK, what happened in the Netherlands, Switzerland, what happened in Australia when those Arab men was moving over and it was doing some really egregious stuff, raping, and the men didn't do a goddamn thing. They just left. And they went overseas and got women overseas. They said, well, we ain't doing nothing. They had to change the laws to change that. The world is not... And this is the dishonest shit that I'm talking about, man.
And then blame and shame. What's the other one you said? It's blame, shame, and shame. As Mr. and Mrs. And you just come home one day, you're like, hey.
You see things.
But hold on, though. But we have the paradigms. They'll be okay. The last, what was that? How long ago was that when Amber Rose was doing the slut walks and all that crazy shit? How long was that? The level of homelessness that I'm seeing when I was down.
And it's like, when I hate when people who never, I hate when people who never do their research, deep research, to know that this homelessness shit was there before you even notice it. Men been homeless before, and most of these guys were homeless because they were dependent on women, sleeping on women's couches. I know a dude that I can't pull up his skin because he blocked me, because I think he knew I was using his video. I was using him for my videos. He constantly homeless because he's trying to use women, and this game shit don't work out for him. His personality get him into the door for jobs, and his same personality get him fired from jobs. Let's listen more.
By the Mississippi River. Now, this is one of the richest property areas in our city. I'm down there because my gym's in that area by the Mississippi River. We got 10 cities growing on the Mississippi River. The most valuable property, natural property. I've never seen anything like this in my life the last couple months. There's 10.
Most of them guys are guys like you who said hoes are winning, and guess what? They thought that their D couldn't be replaced. They thought that their game wasn't going to be replaced, and they thought that their playbook wasn't being read by these women. Man, woo.
It's down there now, and I'm in a cold weather place. We're about to hit cold weather in a few weeks, and they're down there in their little tent cities on the Mississippi River, bro, fishing and shit for their food down there, man. Living down there, they got the little fishing rails out.
Let me know if not, man.
And one of y'all patriarchal alpha figure for your daughter with their tricks, and the pimp don't even want to fuck the broad because he like shit. He let that dude put in the work. So these dudes is trying to sell you.
We been buying, you know what I'm saying, ammo and shit.
Man, you good. You in Texas, bro. Like, you in a state where you can defend yourself. They protect gun owner rights. These dudes are in liberal cities where they have no guns. They have no food saved up. So when shit hit the fan, these dudes gonna be sitting there and they gonna be still waiting for that hope porn to save them.
Yep.
But so is ARC coming up or not? Because if not, man, you know,
And this is what I'm saying. He has this infatuation with ARC, and this is when I said he exposed himself, because it's like ARC is our uncle, you know, ARC, because ARC has these old ass stories, and it's like it resonate with King Sigma. It's like, dude is old. He waited till like 50 something years old to get a child, and it's like, I know a lot of men who good with women. And they convinced the wife or the girlfriend to let him have side chicks. There's other races of men who women know that these guys got side chicks, but they like, don't bring them home and don't leave me for her. And it works until the guy get old and tired and he stays right with her. That's kind of like how it was with the old black family. You know how many of these old behind people were cheating on each other because they knew that they were getting cheated on, the other one was getting cheated on. They're like, okay, you cheating on me, I'm gonna cheat on you. And they will basically be like, okay, I understand you cheated on me, but guess what? I was bored. And the woman accepted and the dude accepted. That's how the black family used to operate. That's why you seen couples together for a long period of time. Because a lot of them did cheat. It wasn't just one side. But somehow, some way,
this has been a great conversation, you know what I'm saying? But
this has been a great conversation. And you want ARC to get up there, talk about his book, shame Muhammad men, make another reference to Elliot Rogers, talk about men being this and that, talk about his book again, talk about the stories from the 1980s, and then sit back and do it again. Then he goes on another panel and do the same thing, talk about his book, talk about an old story, talk about this game, and then do it again. MOT is real right. Like, y'all don't want to leave this alone. Y'all just want to keep this shit going. And like I said, the only reason why I'm on here right now, because somebody asked me also, is because I'm trying to find a show and see if I can download it. So that's what I've been doing this whole time. Let's see. But it seemed to me like they got this infatuation for dating coaches and shit. It's like, dude, the dude was dealing with trash women. This dude kept saying that he wanted to get married. I was going to get married before he was going to get married, but I was an incel, right? This dude had access to all types of women, and people put him in the category. They didn't want to marry him because he's a despicable dude. They didn't want a husband that they didn't want a husband that would sleep with their own friends, girlfriends and wives. A lot of these women, like, they got this mindset where they'll do dirt with somebody, but they don't want to be seen with the person in public.
I was hoping that he'd come up, because this is like Zero and him. This is like the perfect topic for him, man.
No, it's not perfect Zero. That's why Zero's leaving this shit alone, because he don't want to be the guy out here talking shit about men. Because guess what? This shit's gonna hit y'all. This shit's not gonna hit y'all, but guess what? I hope people actually understand where y'all at. Y'all here talking shit about men. Y'all here to shame men. To try to tell them the way y'all talk to women, that's the only way to talk to women. That's the reason why a lot of guys have a problem. Because you haven't created another version of how men can get women without doing what you're doing. Because look what it done to you. A lot of men don't want to turn into what y'all are. And the same guys who bragging and saying, I know how to get women and stuff, they don't want to turn into those guys either. But let's let him finish his point.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, look. ARC, if you gonna come up, man, let me know. If not, man.
And one of y'all Mode 1 disciples, y'all hit up ARC real quick, man. Just hit them with an email and let them know that we're trying to get them up here before we bounce out, man.
Yeah, I run my shit at about 2 hours. We're at the 2 hour mark.
Because you know what's funny? Like, a couple months ago, I had ARC on, right? Must have been like 6-7 weeks ago, right? And you know, it's crazy that you and Ramil went down this path, because him and I on that panel, we were talking about this whole idea that tricks have that women don't like sex, right? And then I heard Ramil saying something.
So they made this argument up. I didn't see the video. Like I said, I wasn't really out there. I wasn't really paying attention to all of it. So they go with talking points of Obsidian, and then they use it to everybody else. They be like, oh, Obsidian represent all these people. Oh, that guy represent all these other people. No one never said they didn't like sex. But I made a point, and this is why my main point was to sex and penis size and all this other shit that I always talk about, is because they try to hit you the most with that. So he's gonna try to make the point is that, guess what? The women don't like sex. They do like sex. This is why they require a guy to have some inches or this and this and that. Did I not make this point? Anybody in my comment section, did I not make this point about their outrageous sexual requirements for men all these many times? My videos ain't really like my videos are not a lot. They don't have a lot of watch people. But for my subscribers and my views, I do pretty kind of good. But I said this before, and that's why I kept harping to that point. Why pay these flimsy ass women over here when they try to make sex about them and not about you? When you're paying for her to just be there and be a hole for you to use. And then the exposing happens and all this other shit and all the rushing and all that. Let's go.
About that, how these women are being punished with dicks, right? Because the whole thing was like, when you even talk to pimps, they'll say that these women be having orgasms with their tricks. And the pimp don't even want to fuck the broad because he like shit. Let that dude put in the work. So these dudes is trying to sell you on a concept where,
wow, I didn't know so-called tricks have orgasms. I thought, wait a minute. I thought loser weirdo guys need to pay for sex. I thought small penis men need to pay for sex. So y'all need to fix it. Y'all side need to fix it. Wait. Nerdy guys need to pay for sex. Incels need to pay for sex. Weirdo guys need to pay for sex, right? So how these women having so-called orgasms when these guys are not packing? Because I know damn well none of these so-called guys who paying for eating them out and none of that. So now he runs in with it. He running with an argument now.
Brittany Renner said all she's bringing to the table is her uterus, but the trick he's bringing is good sex skills and is wilding with him.
Good sex skills. Wow, what kind of argument is that? The reason for a lot of guys to pay for sex because they want to get experience to get sex, not because they're good at sex. I mean, that was your arguments that weirdo guys and need to pay for it for the rest of their life. So either they're bad at sex or they're good at sex. How's Tricks good at sex? When I can give you examples of porn stars saying that rich men are not good in bed because they're just not good in bed. I mean, Leanna Paul, she deleted the tweet. She stopped talking like that when she said that, guys with money don't have good sex. So I don't conflate. Whoa! I don't listen to a man. I listen to these thoughts talking like this. I can have many chicks who, if you ask one of these women who sell themselves, a lot of dudes don't last on average. These guys don't. They only go to these women because they want to have sex. They want to know what it feel like to have sex with a good looking woman. So they got good sex skills. What? For real? Huh? That's news to me. When I was paying for it and shit, I wasn't trying to put in no work. I was just going to doing my own thing. I didn't give a hell if she liked it or not. Are you serious? What? What? Are you serious? Like, come on, man. All types of dudes pay for it. Fat, ugly guys with deformities, but they coming off these guys? You telling me every so-called trick good in bed? Wow, straw man right there, man.
How is it a loss for the female if you're going to be giving her endless work?
A loss? It was never a loss for the female, but it was a gain for the guy. Because he don't have to put in work. He don't have to be big. He don't have to do none of that. He could just pay a chick for a hole and then leave and bounce. Endless orgasms. Dude, y'all the ones giving the women endless orgasms. Y'all the one putting in work. And then y'all shame other men who don't want to put in that much work into sex. They just want the sex. They just want the... I heard you, King Sigma, said that men who put in work, they shouldn't be that. They should just wait till it build up. He said something like that, where a guy's wasting thousands of hours for a woman, and they rushing the process to getting sex. You serious? And then when you finally get the sex, you got to put in all this amazing work. He even talked about the same story he had before when he said he was with a woman that he had only sexual chemistry with, and then the woman got married afterwards, and said she couldn't do it with him no more. But instead of him being a man and being on the man's side and hitting that dude up and say, yo, this chick cheated on you. She was having sex with somebody else. Blah, 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 blah. Dump her. Don't marry her. Because she's not going to give you this kind of sex that the other guy got. So, wow, man. Please, man.
Orgasms. And then she gets a check after you giving her endless orgasm. You walk away having lost a few days of your life.
A few days of your life. Wait a minute. Didn't he just say that guys are losing? Whoa. Didn't he just say further in the stream that guys can't afford to live, and that's the reason why men are losing and women are winning, because they sit on their behind and don't do nothing, and they make more money than men. And men barely living because they working hard. But then you say that they're losing all the money out their life. Look, a lot of people who pay for sex, they don't hurt for that money because they can replace it soon as they go to their job. If they make $20,000, if they make $20 an hour, $15, $16 an hour, in a day, they make that money back. If they paying for a chick, a high escort, whatever, they're making that money back in 2 days. Now, if they're working a shit job and they're paying for sex, then there's something wrong with them. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be focused on getting a better job. But
sweating, tired, and you poor now. I gotta go work a double. I just don't be understanding the logic with these.
So all men who pay for sex are guys who broke and poor, are barely making it. But then you said, man, Jesus,
Dudes, man.
Blame, shame, and explain part.
Dudes, as a kid, I'm not gonna be a simple
Player. Okay, when he becomes
his wheelhouse is the whole feminism waves, right? Boils down to just one question. Has the welfare state grown? You're the loser. Death? Prison.
Chris Herrera says men need to be more judgmental. That's how society protects itself from decay.
she's bringing to the table is her uterus. So it don't matter if it's a stable economy. It don't matter if it's an impoverished. The only thing she says she's bringing is her uterus. So if she's gonna be so if we look at American social order collapsing. So let's say China comes in with the communism shit. So they'll just be sex slaves under the new regime. But guess who actually really suffers? It's not the women who suffer when a society collapses. It's the men.
No, idiot. It's men like you who suffer. Because, trust me, if they came in the regimes and they said, who are the men who get all the women? We all gonna point to you niggas. And they gonna eliminate you just as fast. And they gonna say, okay, you're gonna keep our society running. But you must don't know communist China. You don't know that. You must don't know it. That government officials and people who actually run the government, they actually do get women. They get assigned women. And the women, some of them don't like it, but they have to face it because they either go to, jump out a window, do all that. Because there's a lot of women that do end their lives in those kind of regimes because they can't get away with the kind of stuff they can get away with over here. So I think you need to check up on the laws on other countries, man.
Because the men are either killed or enslaved or in prison. They really only got 3.
They're most likely enslaved. They're not going to be in prison unless they fight. He's trying to make the argument, man. And let me get off this right here, man, because I'm gonna give you this side, their side,